Rari.
All right, man. Let's get started. So, market is about to open. We have about, let's see, 12 minutes left until market open. So, while we're waiting on this, we're taking a look at the 5 minute chart, but I want to go up to the 15 minute. And there's one person who I want to send this to. Okay. All right. So, hold on, chat. I'm trying to get YouTube going. I mean, not YouTube. TikTok. Sorry. So while we're waiting on that, Follow New Level Traders at YouTube. Let's go.
I've been falling, Lord, I'm calling. Take this weight, I can't remain
Got TL.
in the shadows. Still I'm crawling. Lift me higher. Oh, voices rising. I surrender. Break these chains, I can't escape. Through the fire, make me stronger. Bring me back, don't let me fade. Break these chains, I can't escape. Through the fire, make me stronger. Bring me back, don't let me fade. I've been falling, Lord, I'm calling. Take this weight, I can't remain in the shadows. Still I'm crawling. Lift me higher. Oh, voices rising. I surrender. Break these chains, I can't escape. Through the fire, make me stronger. Bring me back, don't let me fade. Break these chains, I can't escape. Through the fire, make me stronger. Bring me back, don't let me fade.
All right, we're just 4 minutes away from the market opening. We're taking a look at ES right now. I'm gonna switch to MNQ2 as well. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm bearish today.
Lord, I'm calling. Take this weight, I can't remain in the shadows. Still I'm crawling. Lift me
I am honestly bearish.
higher. Voices rising. I surrender. Break these chains, I can't escape.
All right, so how's everybody doing on today? I hope you all are feeling good on today, man. I know as I'm sitting here trying to get everything squared away. How y'all doing? Everybody doing good? Everybody feeling great? We're gonna go live on TikTok in a minute, you all. We're gonna go live on TikTok in a minute. So here's what I'm taking a look at this morning. We're on MNQ, so I'm gonna just go ahead and clear all of this off the charts. Make this cleaner for you all. Boom. Okay. All right. So we're taking a look at ES. I mean, we're on MNQ, but I'm thinking I want to trade ES this morning, which is almost pretty much every morning for me that I always want to trade ES. So those of you who are joining in, hey, we are live on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and go to New Level Traders on YouTube, you'll be able to see my screen and see us trade live on YouTube. So we're trading futures market. We're looking at MES this morning. So I don't know, y'all. I'm feeling bearish on today. Market is getting ready to open in about 1 minute, and I'm feeling bearish for some reason. Okay, market just opened. So let's see how today plays out. I'm really interested in seeing how today played out. Yesterday we had a nice win. We shorted on yesterday, and we shorted ES on yesterday. And I'm just thinking of being short today, y'all. When we take a look at the 1 hour chart and see how it reacted to this fair value gap on the 1 hour, I can see we pushing back up on ES. So we're just gonna wait and be patient this morning and wait for a beautiful setup. But if you take a look at like if you go to ES and you take a look at what it was that we did on last week and what we drew up on last week, right? You see where we shorted ES right at about 75.83. That was a very good key level for us at 75.83, and we shorted it all the way to 75.26, and that 75.26 was a key, which is looking like a key level again for today if we were bullish. But for some reason, y'all, I mean, I don't know. I want to short today. We're getting this retracement. So y'all tell me, what is y'all bias on today? What is you all bias on today? Are you long or are you short on today? I'm looking for retracements to previous day high. We are above midnight open, so if we can mark out midnight open, I'll mark midnight open for you. Mark that out. That's at 74.28. So here we'll mark out midnight open. If we stay above midnight open, then obviously it seems like we're going to be bullish. But I'm looking for price to be able to come back to midnight open, and we short from there. So 74.28 was midnight open on ES, and as of right now, we're trading above that. So this retracement is cool. We're not going to jump into anything as of yet. We're going to be very patient. Mark out midnight open. Guys, if you want to see my screen on TikTok, uh, go to my YouTube at New Level Traders on YouTube to be able to see the screen. Yeah, to see the screen, go to New Level Traders on YouTube. So we're at midnight open. We'll mark that out here. And it's looking as if we're going to be taking out previous day high. So, or looking like it's going back to previous day high. So if you go, if I go to the 1 hour, I can mark it up here. So I'm thinking that we're having a low resistance liquidity run if we come and grab previous day high, and we'll be able to look for shorts here on this off of this move, because I'm still bearish on today. So we'll see. That's what my bias is so far. All right, so we're gonna log off of TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you're looking to join and see my screen, follow me on YouTube at New Level Traders. Therefore, you'll be able to see our screen. But yeah, that's what it's looking like so far. Price looking like is going to go and take out previous day's highs, and we're just going to be patient and wait for a beautiful setup and things to play out in our favor. So there's no need to jump the gun or do anything. So what I'm seeing is that so it's looking like we're going to go sweep previous day high, honestly. But I still think this is a manipulated move. I wouldn't jump the gun or rush anything right now. So those of you who are on TikTok, if you want to see my screen, go to New Level Traders on YouTube. Go to NU Level Traders on YouTube, so you can be able to see the screen. We're live on YouTube. But yeah, I just think this is a move. Like, if you look at it, power of three, you got accumulation here. This move looks like manipulation, and then we're going to get distribution. So I'm looking at something like this. This is accumulation, manipulation, sweep previous day high, and then we get distribution coming back here down to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for on today. So we just got to be patient. I think our move is going to come around 10 o'clock, though. We catch Judas swing. We catch Judas swing around 10 o'clock, everything will be perfect. So we just have to be patient. Although this would have been a nice to take, a nice 1-to-1. But it's all good. So what did you all bias on today? Please, popples, poop. What does that? What, what does that mean? What does that mean? Are you all long today, or are you thinking? Are you looking for shorts? Determining your own daily bias. So we're not trading in a premium. So if you drop down, so we're on the 1 minute chart. So if you look at where we are now, we're literally at a premium. And here at this line of what you see at the top, guys, this is previous day high. That is right up here, and we're trading into that. So if I was to go to a higher time frame, like 15-minute chart, right, you'll be able to see where I have it marked here, previous day high, and we drop here to where this candle is, and I kind of straighten this up a little bit. Nice straight line. It really don't have to be that long. I don't know why I had it so long. But here. So I'm looking for us to sweep previous day high. And if it's a continuation and price is just continuing to trend upwards, then obviously I would change my bias on that. But as of right now, I'm thinking we're having a low resistance liquidity run, and we're coming to um, sweep previous day high, and then we're going to look for shorts back down to midnight open. That's me. So it's going to look for some. It's going to look something like this, where I would want the setup to be like this. Got my stop loss set about right here, and we come and take out midnight open all the way to here. So this is what I'm looking for on today. So while everybody else is looking for the charts, I told you all, go to YouTube. We're live on YouTube. You'll be able to see us on YouTube. You'll see the charts on YouTube. So we're looking for something that's like this on today, a sweep of previous day high on a low resistance liquidity run, and we take it all the way back to midnight open, where midnight open can be our first TP, and we have continuations with at least some runners to at about, I'm looking at 73.89. First initial TP, I'm looking at 74.28. So we're just gonna be patient to see how this thing pan out. Do we have any news today? Let's check and see if we have any news happening on today. Anything of any significance, honestly. So let's see. We're checking to see if we have any news happening on today. And let's go here. We'll go here. for the United States. All right, so here we go. Checking for news. Okay, so 10 o'clock we have existing home sales that's going to happen. So, like I said, we're just going to be patient and wait for 10. As you can see, we're sweeping previous day highs right now. And look at that. Oh, that looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. Price action though, when you look at like yesterday, price action was really smooth. Yesterday, price action was really smooth. On Friday, um, nothing was too out of the norm, right? So I'm looking for today to be exactly that, as I could see. And I know what we're doing right now is reacting to this 1 hour fair value gap. So if you can go to the 1 hour chart on ES, right? If you go to the 1 hour chart on ES, you'll be able to see us basically reacting off of the that fair value gap. But we're above midnight open, so I don't know. We're gonna see. I don't want to change my bias. I don't want to change my bias too soon, but we'll see. But the market looks good, guys. See, y'all wanted to see what's going on. I could show you if I figure out how to. Okay, you see how we're sweeping previous day high? So we're looking to sweep previous day high and take a short below midnight open all the way to here. And that's 74 down there. Hold on, flip camera. But we'll see. We'll see. We got news at 10. So that's in about 15 minutes. So we're just going to be patient. If price do continue to trend upwards and we obviously have to change our bias, then what we will end up doing is catching probably OTE. We'll look for optimal trade entry. But the market looks strong right now. It looks strong, guys. But we'll see. I'm looking for power of three, to be honest. Power of three. The market's looking fairly strong right now, so we're still going to be patient. 10 o'clock isn't here yet, so we're going to wait. So I'm really looking at power of three right here, though, guys. Like accumulation, manipulation, distribution. That's that's what I'm looking for, and it looks like it's going to deliver on today. We just have to be patient and wait for our setup to come. So we're honestly, as of right now, the way things are looking, if I can go here, I'm gonna drop down to like the 2 minute chart. We would need displacement below this low right here. If we get displacement below this low, then that's when we'll look for shorts. But obviously, as of right now, we're just being patient. The market could take off without me. This is where people catch FOMO, though, guys. So you have to understand that, like, when you see things that are like this, a lot of people start to catch FOMO and they have fear of missing out. And then so they jump in the trade real quick because they see the market moving up, but not understanding the full true story of what is happening. And they get caught up in manipulation. And so those who are very patient and do not have fear of missing out on anything, and you that's why you have a system that you trade, and you trade your model. You don't just trade any and every kind of candle. You literally trade your model. So if you're patient enough and you wait and you trade your model, everything will be good. Everything will be good. So if we're looking at this, you see where I have that line, a break below the 50, a break below the 50% level, we'll look for shorts. But until our setup comes, people, we are not engaging into the markets. We're not. So you just have to be patient. Patience is key. And sometimes that's one of the hardest things, right? Like when when people trade, like one thing that they literally miss grasping is patience. Your psychology is very important during these time frames, especially when you're day trading. And this is why a lot of people aren't profitable. So we're having beautiful retracement. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. So if we break below the 50% level, like I said, right, then we'll engage in shorts. But until then, we're not engaging into the market right now. If the market continues to push upward, then we look for OTE. But we have news coming up in 8 minutes. So with news coming up in 8 minutes, we're just going to be patient. We're just going to be patient. We're not going to rush anything and wait for our beautiful setup to happen and take place. Okay. So that sweep of previous day high, like like I really feel like this was just a low resistance liquidity run, and we're literally forming power of three. So let's just see how this thing pans out. Let's see how it pans out. Good morning, Miss Ani. And I hope I'm saying that right too. Oh, if you're on, right, let me know in the chat that you're still on with me cuz I want to go back and show you something uh of what we did together on last week and it played itself out perfect. If you're still on, I want to show you what we did last week. If I didn't erase it, I don't think I did. I don't believe I did. Okay, you're still on. Awesome. So let's take a look. Look, this is what I'm going to do. Man, look at that retracement, you all. It's happening. So let's go up to the 15-minute, right? And we're going to go back to last week. So you remember when we did this? And I told you it was coming to previous week high. And did it not do exactly that? It hit previous week high at the first initial. We said that was going to be our first initial TP, right? So if we would have taken that trade, because you was I remember when you asked me, you said when the market takes off like this, um, do you jump in and enter into a trade? And I was like, absolutely, right? We could wait for a OTE entry that could come to our price point. And once we get that coming to our price point, right? This would have been our trade and our setup, and we would have took it to previous day. We would have wanted to go all the way to previous day high, but we went to previous week high at our first initial TP, which we would have TP'd right here. And then once we TP'd right there, we would have moved our stop loss to break even, right? So therefore we would have made money on the trade. And then since the trade reversed back, we wouldn't have lost anything. We would have made our money at first initial TP, and we would have just broke even right here at break even as the market continued to fall um, after that. But that would have been a break even trade. But that's how I would have entered the trade if we were trading that. Oni, like Tony. Okay, Oni. I said Ani. Oni. Okay. Oni. Okay. That's so unique. Can't nobody steal your name. But yeah, that would have been beautiful right there to be able to take that off that entry right here. That would have been an entry point for us, and we would have took it at previous week high, and then we would have broke even, obviously, but we would have made money on the trade. That would have went into our account, and we would have just broke even. So what we're looking at right now, what did I say? We're having a sweep of previous day high on a low resistance liquidity run. And what I'm seeing is power of three set up here, right? Where we had accumulation happen in pre-market. We're having the manipulated move going up, trapping buyers, everybody who wanted to buy in, right? Trapping those buyers. And then we're looking for distribution coming all the way back to midnight open. So this is looking beautiful. All we need is candle closure below this level here. So if we drop down to a lower time frame, as you can see, price is continuously moving back at the 50% level here. So if I were to show you all based on this, how we would do this. we will go from here to here. You can see we're at the 50% level, and I told you once we get a break in candle closure below the 50% level, we'll engage into shorts. So it's looking like our setup is coming. We have news in 2 minutes. So let's see. Let's see what happens. You don't want to engage too early. Most people engage too early in the market to short, but I don't want to be the first seller. I want to wait. I want to wait and see what happens in 2 minutes. Once we get news, if we get full displacement below this level, if we get full displacement below this level, I'm engaging in shorts. So we have a 2 minute fair value gap that's happening here. So if we drop down to the 2 minute chart, right? If we drop down to 2 minute, see we have fair value gap here. And you can see how we're reacting off this fair value gap. So let's be patient. Let's be patient. Be patient. We have news coming in 1 minute. I mean, is this not playing out? Is it not doing exactly what I said it was gonna do? Sweet previous day high, right? Price is retracing back to our level. We're looking for full displacement below this level before we engage in the shorts. I told you all I was bearish on today. So all we need is candle closure here. So once we get a candle closure here, and news is already hit at 10 o'clock. So let's see what happens. I'm looking for short here, stop loss here, and I'm looking to take this possibly past midnight open, right? And full TP would be here. So let's see how this goes. So we haven't, don't engage into the markets yet, guys. We haven't gotten a full candle closure below our level. Although it wicked down below our level, but we did not close any candles below that level yet. That's what we want before we engage. So just be patient. Just be patient. Just be patient. So while we're being patient and waiting on the markets, I have something I want to show you all. I want to add. I want to show you all something, right? If I could get this off the screen real quick. Give me a second. There we go. What would be some of the things, right? Because I don't plan like every day live, like trading live on YouTube every day. I could do that, right? I wouldn't have a problem with doing that, but is that something you all would want. Like we would trade live together every day on YouTube, Monday through Friday. And then Sunday, we'll determine our weekly bias on Sundays, right? When market open at 6, we will obviously look to see if we can get a trade opportunity during that time frame. But if not, we'll just be on determining our weekly bias to be prepped and ready for Monday. Because therefore, we could start, engaging together and determining daily biases together. So therefore, it'll be much easier because the more you're able to see a model and someone trade based upon a system, like me, I only trade my model. I don't trade no other model, no other strategies at all, period. I stick to this one thing and it works for me 65% of the time, to be honest. 65% of the time. So, all right. So, in 54 seconds, this candle should be closing. So, hopefully, this thing closes below our level and we can start engaging into shorts. So, how do you change your view from black to white? So, you will go to your settings tab. You will go to your settings tab and you will hit more settings and you will go to canvas and you will see chart basic styles, background, and you can change your background as well as your candles too as well. And so if you want to take a screenshot of mine and what mine is, it's gradient. I have none on grid lines. My crosshairs are gray. Um, obviously, ticker watermark intervals. That's there, and you can pretty much see how everything is on here. So, and this is how you'll change it from black to white, back to clear. Hit OK. All right, so we did get candle closure here. So price is continuing to push up, so we're not engaging yet into the markets. We're still being patient. Patience is key here. Patience, patience. Like usually, sometimes when I am, let me switch, because I don't know if I was doing all of this while I was off camera. Let me go back to settings and more settings is what we will go to, right? So we'll go to settings, more settings, and then we will go to canvas, and then here you go. Because once I looked down and saw like, why is the screen still on me? So yeah, if you take a screenshot of this, then you can be able to go and put your settings just like this, and it should be set up for you. So prices respecting 74.64, um, 74.64, 65. So it's respecting this 50% level very, very heavy here. But like I said, I'm seeing power of three really play itself out right here. So we're just going to be patient. We're just going to be patient. See, we're respecting that 50%. And we just need displacement below this level. If we get displacement below this level, then we can enter into position. Nope, don't enter yet. Don't engage yet. Here, I'll paper trade with you all on here. Okay. You're welcome. No problem. No problem. Price is respecting this level, which is making it this is where like your patience have to set in. Sometimes people engage very early, fairly early, and get wicked out of trades. But we're going to wait. We're looking for displacement here. Mm, come here. Okay, now I'm engaging into shorts, y'all. See there? I don't know why there's a delay on this. This should have been entered me into the trade. That's why I hate trading on TradingView. It is such a delay on TradingView. I literally been put in that order, but it is what it is. Anyways, since we did not get filled, hopefully you all was able to catch my drift on that, right? We've been calling it prior before we even got into it. I was gonna paper trade it with you all, but it's all good. So, but you caught my drift of what it is that I was saying, right? Like we saw we swept previous day high. Once we swept previous day high, this is why I said these levels are very very important to you when it comes to trading, being because everything else does not matter. All of that other stuff in trading does not matter of what people try to tell you. You want to have the most clear screen as possible, and you only want to mark out the most important things. We have midnight open that's marked out because that's our first initial TP, which is this line that's here, right? We have our displacement level of where we knew was a key level for us, and we wanted price to break below that level there. And we knew our next level was going to be previous day high. Once we had a low resistance liquidity run and we swept previous day high, we were now, like I said, I was like, hey guys, I'm very bearish on today. And this is a beautiful setup. We have the power of three here. We got accumulation with manipulation. You have accumulation here. You had a manipulated move going up, trapping buyers, created an order block that's there, and you have distribution. So it's beautiful, beautiful. That is how you trade. Most people are not going to show you this and give you the sauce like that. This right here was nothing but beautiful sauce. Like we called it out from the beginning of when the market opened all the way to where we are now, and we're just going to be patient. We're gonna control our breathing. We're just gonna relax, and we're just going to print money. And this is how you do it. So you look for these setups every single day. So let's take a look, like while the trade is playing out. Let's take a look at MNQ for a second and see how MNQ is doing. So look at that. Wow. So if we would have taken the trade on MNQ, which I like ES a little bit better because ES was just a little bit more clear for me at that time of me looking at it, but we could have did the same thing on MNQ, right? Like look at the accumulation, manipulated move, and then distribution to the downside. Like it was very beautiful. Like I told you, our price action right now for the past couple of days have been, I mean, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. You can't beat this. This is what you want. Look at that. That is very beautiful. ES lags a little bit, right? So with ES, look at that move right there. Look at that move. Beautiful. That's what you want to see. Come on. I told you all we was bearish on today. Come on. Come on. Come on. Telling you, I should have took this trade on my funded accounts, but I was so focused on just wanting to make sure like I was able to deliver and give some education on today. And when I trade on my fundeds, I like to be super focused. But obviously, you would see we would have made crazy money today. I would have did about I would have did about 7 contracts. We will be up probably right now. How many ticks? So 106. Yeah, we would have been up like crazy. So we're looking for price right now to come in and take out midnight open. So that's our first initial line, and that's where we have our first initial TP. So just be patient, allow the trade to play itself out. Also, this is where I would want to cut risk, right? I want to cut about at least 50% off the trade. So I will move my stop loss, right? From here, not to break even, right? But I want it to be below the wick of this candle. That's where I would want it to be. And as you can see, we're looking to touch midnight open. If we take out midnight open, we will hold this trade. Obviously, first TP is getting ready to hit, but we will hold this trade all the way, right? We will hold this all the way until we hit full TP. Give us what we want. Bang. That's where you take your first initial profit. So if you were in multiple contracts, you would want to take some contracts off. Therefore, you secured profits. Now, once you secured profits, right, you move your stop loss to break even. So that means everything from this point is free money. We have a free trade. You have a meeting? Okay. Okay, no problem, no problem. But I'm gonna leave this video open, right? So if I'm off, you could just always go back and be able to see and watch it, and pull up to the point of where you were and just follow it. But this is a beautiful trade. This was a beautiful trade. Man, I'm so mad I didn't take this on my fundeds. Beautiful trade. We called it out from the tee. And look, we had zero drawdown. That's another thing, right? Like I want to teach you all to be able to understand like really how to do this and not put yourself in drawdown. So if you were to do an intraday trade, like intraday uh with a trailing stop loss, right? You would want to look for trades and setups that's just like this that doesn't pull you back into drawdown. But that always falls on your entry point. Some people enter into trades too early. Like say for instance, right, we would have entered into the trade below, I mean before we had candle closure below our level of where we marked out, right? We knew we was going on a lower resistance liquidity run to sweep previous day high. We knew that, right? But we allowed price to retrace and we had our key level of where we wanted displacement at before we entered into the trade. Once we got full displacement, that's when we enter into our trade. And once our our first initial TP was set at midnight open, now that we're broke below and we're trading below midnight open, that is awesome. And so we just want to continue on down to the downside. Hold our trades all the way down to the downside. So we hit our first initial TP and we're sitting at break even. So even if we get a retracement, right? If we get a retracement, you could still hold on to your positions, guys, because it is a free trade at that point until you hit all the way down to full TP. If it retraces and it takes you out at break even, you still made money. You still made money. But this trade right here was just, I mean, this was magnificent. I don't know. Yeah, this was pretty. I don't know why I keep doing that. Anyways, but yeah, this was beauty. This was a beauty. And this was live. This is no replays, no nothing. We took it right at market open. We saw what was going on. We saw what was happening, and we called this out to the T. This is why I say you can really truly determine people who are profitable traders versus those who just be on here trading and they can't explain their model to you. They can't explain key levels to you, what those key levels are, right? Just saying, oh, well, we're marking out a high and we're marking out the low of these levels. That's why I tell people like trading supply and demand is the most asinine thing that you can do because it's not about supply and demand at this point. Everything is for specific reasons within the market. We knew we was going to get news at 10, right? So that news that we got at 10 obviously helped push us lower. So that's why we were patient and we didn't jump into, that's why I said I don't care about missing any of this. Any of this stuff that's here, why would I why would I why would I care about this when I'm getting all of this? I wouldn't care. That's why I said, oh, I don't care if the market takes off without me. If we catch it and it's continuous and market just continues to move higher, then I'll look for my entry point and I'll look for the next level of what? Liquidity as far as my exit. But I will never have FOMO in the market. No, never. My setup comes every single day. That's what my model presents itself every single day. And if my model does not present itself while I'm engaging in the markets at that time, because sometimes it comes, my model may show up, once lunchtime hit, because I like to be out of the market by 11 o'clock, right? Like I like to be done at least around that time, no later than 11:30 going into 12. And I will come back and go and do PM session right after 1 o'clock. But if my model does not present itself then it's okay for me to walk away from the charts and find other things to do. So as the trade is playing out, guys, let me show you something real quick. I want to talk about something real quick for those of you who are still tuning in, right? So, look, I did this on yesterday. I had made this PowerPoint, and on this PowerPoint, right, like I did a video which I will be releasing, but I did a video because I wanted to talk about the something that was very important of what people was missing out on and leaving so much money on the table. And where you're leaving so much money on the table is your president, right? Forget all of the other stuff. That's why I told people you have to have an ear to hear and hear what you need in order to provide for your family. Don't get yourself caught up in no Epstein files and why they did this and who. If you're that means you're operating from a low vibrational standpoint. People who like to talk about that stuff, I leave them to talk about that. I could care less about that crap. What I care about is that I know that this man that is sitting in office is making money and he's about money and he's giving us an opportunity for the transferring of wealth for us to have great entry points for long-term positions, right? He's giving us these opportunities, and while everybody else is focused on all the negative things, they're going to be left behind. They're going to be the ones who's still going to be struggling. And when you look at it, AI going to been done took over their jobs, and they're going to have to do something that's going to be hard labor in order to be able to make some money. But for us who understand what is happening and what is going on, the first quarter of this year, Trump took over 3,700 trades. He made well between, they don't have the exact number, but they gave us um, the numbers of 220 million to 750 million with over 3,700 trades within the first quarter of the year, the first 6 months. If you didn't make money during that time frame, what were you doing? I really want to know, what were you doing if you didn't make money during that time frame? With SpaceX and aerospace dominance happening, the main thing that I've been telling people, do not engage into SpaceX. I don't care what you're hearing and what people are telling you. Do not engage into SpaceX. It's IPOing at about $135 a share, but you're talking about something that is valued at 1.77 trillion. That is bigger than Nvidia. Nvidia is a proven company with earnings that has been magnificent when you go back and look at the company. SpaceX has not proven anything to us. Why do you think it's been private for so long? Now they need retail money, right? They need retail money in order to be able to make you be left holding the bag. They need exit liquidity, and you're going to be that exit liquidity. And the reason why I say that is because you have to you have to follow how things are going, the pattern, right, of how they move. When Elon purchased Twitter, those investors from Twitter have yet to receive their money back. And so they're waiting to receive their money back. So what he gave them was shares in SpaceX because he knew he was going to launch SpaceX. People were going to jump in. They overvalued the company. So once they open it up to retail, everybody who's going to be getting in late is going to be left holding the bag. Because you don't think that those investors from Twitter and people who was able to get in through private sectors is not going to sell once this thing IPOs? Of course they're going to sell. Of course. But we've been given the game on this. I was screaming this stuff from my lungs all in 2025 when I was doing TikTok lives during that time frame. I was screaming from the top of my lungs telling everybody, "Hey, listen, we already got reusable rockets. So you should have been engaging into companies that already had this technology and that's working with SpaceX." But that was a year ago. The trade has already happened. How is that company bigger than Nvidia? And Nvidia is the most profitable company in the world. It's the number one company in the world. And you telling me that SpaceX is supposed to trump that? Yeah, right. Not going to happen. Now, over time, you can start buying shares as price retraces. But until then, I would not engage. Let's take a look at our trade and what we have going on. All right. So everything still looked good. We had the market, I mean not the market, the trade took a little bit of a breather and now it's reversing back and it looking like it's heading back towards our full TP. So this is why I said you would move your stop loss to break even, right? And you took profits already at your first initial TP. You continue to let your runners run. And so as this trade is continuing to play out, we're going to go back. I'm going to go back and keep sharing this with you what I was talking about. So with Nvidia and silicon sovereignty, right? Like we know these are the big players of what's happening and taking place within the market, right? So these trades had already happened. Understanding of all these things, AI, all this stuff has already happened and taken place. The data centers, all of this stuff is already put in place. If you did not get an opportunity to get in all the way last year, right? And here's what I mean by that. Look at our trade is playing out perfect. So look, this is what I mean by that. Let's go to this. Let's go to SPX. And we're gonna go to the daily chart, right? Do y'all remember when I told you to buy the dip? I was screaming it from my lungs, telling everybody, buy the dip, buy the dip. April 2025, this is when your president hopped on TV and was hitting everybody with tariffs. He was dropping tariff bombs on every country, and people were going nuts about it. Oh my God, Trump need to stop with the tariffs. Da, 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 da. I was like, I've never been around so many idiots or never heard so many idiots in my lifetime. But sometimes media is good at keeping you unfocused, throwing you off your game so that you would have no knowledge or understanding what is happening whatsoever. You would have zero knowledge to what is happening in the game. And price pulled back, right? Look, 21%. You had people freaking out, losing their minds. And look at what he's done when he caused that volatility. So you got to look back at what he's done over time. This is why I say he is the man for the job. And I am always going to be thankful for Trump being in office because he's given us a new opportunity to be able to increase our wealth. That 21% pullback, and look at what the market did from that point on. The market went up 58% just off of just off of the volatility that he caused. And this is how the rich get richer, by buying the dips. So you could have bought the dip here, you could have bought the dip. You could have bought in the dip there, and you could have just made hella money. But no, you wanted to be focused on Epstein files and why this person ain't go and Bill Gates doing this, and like your focus was so off because the media was just feeding you nonsense. Nonsense. This is why I say traders are always going to win every single time. You could have gotten Nvidia at around 86 bucks. I'm not lying to you. Look, you could have gotten Nvidia at 86 bucks. It's now worth $206 a share. This is what I mean when you missed out on opportunities. Here's another one. AMD. I told y'all the trades had already happened. AMD. You could have got in at AMD at $79. AMD is now at 486. It had a high of 546. You want to know how much that is you would have made? That's 609% gain on your money in less than a year. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You had a president who literally gave you all to play and nobody wanted to pay attention. Let's go to Dell. Same thing. Same thing with Dell. Look, could have got it in that Dell at 66 bucks. Dell went all the way up to, come on now. Come. Do y'all catch my drift? Do you catch my drift? I mean, because if you do, you see the opportunities that were missed. And so now you have to ask yourself, how do I get it right? What do I do to get it right? Because how could I miss out on opportunity that was this significant, right? Easy work, easy. But people wasn't paying attention. I was sitting here begging. I was dropping stuff in my family chat, y'all. Like in my family chat, I would literally sit there and create videos, drop them in my family chat, and people would just literally like ignore it, ignore opportunities to make more money. And so when you start blowing past people in wealth, like wealth wise, but they want to see it through material, and you're smart with yours, you're intelligent with yours. You saying, nah, I'm 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 skilled enough to possess a skill to where if I did make 25,000 on a trade, I'm going to take that 20. I'm going to me. This is just me. I don't know about everybody else. I'm going to take 20,000 and I'm going back into the market. I'll take out 5 bands and I'm going back into the market. And I continuously do that over and over and over again because of the opportunities that present themselves over and over and over again. And you have a president who's literally telling you this every single time, but people choose to pay attention to the things that does not matter. But I don't want anybody who follows me or anybody who does anything with me to miss out on things when those opportunities present themselves. I like to share the knowledge, right? I like to share the knowledge. Let's take a look at our trade. Look at how our trade is performing. Very beautiful. We're just chopping right here at midnight open. So where you took profits, this is where price is just sitting at, right? So we're still sitting at midnight open. We're just waiting and being patient. We're looking for continuation. So we're looking for continuation move down to full TP. If price decides to reverse and start trending upwards, then guess what? We'll just close out on the trade and we made money because it hit our first initial TP. But this is how you do it. Simple. We literally called it out. This is how we don't lose. We continuously win. What they say, keep winning, king. Always. because I trade a model. I have a system that's proven and that works for me. I don't do all of that other stuff. I don't engage into any of that at all. Period. We sort of like now. Sometimes I'm gonna show y'all a trick, right? Like this is where when you this is a little bit more advanced though. Like once you get really good at being able to eye what is happening in the market, you get really good on your entries where you have like zero drawdown, if any drawdown at all. Period. Like once you get really solid and good like that, right? Then you will be able to take IF IFVGs, which is inversion fair value gaps, because if you see how we reacted off of this fair value gap here, like for me being advanced, that would have been my entry coming off of that. And that fair value gap, right? If you drop down to the 2 minute chart, you can see it right here better on the 2 minute chart. And because of how price reacted, that would have been my entry here. So it would have looked, the trade would have looked something like boop, that being my entry. My stop loss would have been here and would have just ate off of that inversion. But that's next level though. That's next level. That's next level. I would rather you wait for full displacement, right? I would rather you wait for full displacement like we did here, and then we take our trade here with our stop still being here above this level here, right? Above previous day high. That still would have been our stop, right? But as the trade continued to move down, we would have cut our risk down to the wick of that candle that is below that inversion fair value gap. And that is how you would have been able to run that play. Simple and easy. See, it's nothing hard, it's nothing difficult. It's just a matter of you understanding the true levels of what you should be trading. Like all that other stuff people be talking about, none of that stuff matters at all, period, because it's not specific. It doesn't give you, like, look at how we did this morning. And I'm going to revert back to this every single time, and it's going to sound like a broken record. But if you go all the way back to the beginning of this video, when we first hopped into the markets, what did I tell you? I said, man, y'all, I am bearish today. I said I'm bearish today. I don't want to change my bias because the market is pumping up, right? Like the market was pumping up this morning. If you look at 9:30, right? Market open. Market open was here at 9:30. Look at that move. That move right there would have had everybody jumping into calls. Everybody jumping into calls because they're having FOMO. They haven't they thinking that they're gonna miss something. But what did I say? Nope. We're gonna be patient. We're gonna exercise our patience, right? That's very key. Exercising your patience. We're gonna control our breathing, and we're just going to wait. We have news at 10. And you say, Jeremy, what was the news? Existing home sales. So existing home sales was previous at 4.04 million. We did 4.17 million. So that was our only news for today. That was our only news for today. Tomorrow we have news at 8:30. Thursday we have PPI at 8:30, and then Friday we have Michigan consumer sentiment. So we have news for the rest of the week. But this is how we will be able to trade based upon those things, right? Understanding what is to come, what is ahead of us, and we focus on what matters. All that other stuff don't matter. But this trade is playing itself out beautifully. Now we're getting displacement to the downside. We're coming out of that chop that we were in. And so we're looking forward to push to our full TP at 73.93. That's what we want. 73.93. So some of you would say, Jeremy, why are you choosing that as your final TP? Well, I am looking for liquidity. Like I told you guys, like I knew we was on a low resistance liquidity run with a sweep of previous day high because there was liquidity that was left there. So I wanted to look for shorts after we swept that key level. So when we marked it out this morning, we marked out what? We marked out previous day high and we marked out what? Midnight open. Once we marked out midnight open, what did we do? Once we marked out midnight open, we looked specifically for what, chat? Oh, this is a beauty, man. I wish I would have took this on my fundeds. But I'm here with you all being able to hopefully somebody was able to receive this right here and this was a big help for somebody. So if I was able to help somebody on today and I, you know, lost out on an opportunity like this for myself and to my funders, it's cool as long as I was able to help somebody. But what were we looking for this morning, you all? I called it out early this morning. It was a certain thing that I was paying attention to. Do anybody remember? Do anybody remember? No? All right. So let me show you. Let me show you. So this is what we were paying attention to this morning, right? I'm gonna go to the 5 minute chart. Man, price action is so beautiful this morning. Like, so on a 5 minute chart, let's just take a look. This is what we were looking at. We're gonna go from this low to our high. Full TP is getting ready to hit. Full TP is getting ready to hit. So what we were looking for as this trade is playing itself out beautifully, what we were looking for was what? A break below this level here for displacement. Full TP hit, guys. Look at that trade. That was the most beautiful thing I saw, and we literally called this out the whole entire way. Oh man. Oh, that's beautiful. So look, when price continued to move and we swept previous day high, right? I said we're gonna look for what? What did I say we were gonna look for? We were gonna look for a Judas swing, right? We wanted Judas swing at 10 o'clock. Why? Because we knew we had 10 o'clock news coming at 10. That's why I said time frames are important. And when I mean by time frames, meaning the time of day matters. Time of day matters because that's where you're going to be able to get your setups. because the market presents setups at certain times. But if you don't know what you're looking for and you're just on here just staring at charts, trying to trade certain things that, strategies that people have tried to teach you, or they learn from, I don't know where they learned some of this stuff from, but they try to teach you these things, but they're not able to explain to you specifically why. I explain specifically why certain things going to happen at certain key times of the day. That's why I said, hey guys, do we have news today? Oh, we got news at 10. Okay, we got news at 10. I'm looking for Judas Swing. That's a reversal. But I said that we're not going to engage into the markets because I see power of three happening here. Oh, Jeremy, what is power of three? Oh, okay, then that's where we're accumulating here. The manipulated move higher and distribution is coming right here. And look, guys, if we would have just look at this, look at this. This would want to happen on a day that I do not trade fundeds and I hop on live to want to help you all out. This would want to happen on a day like this. This would want to happen on a day like this, but it's all good. It's all good. It is all good. I'm not mad at it at all, period. But that is how you trade. Man, look at this. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm sick. The only reason why is because I could have taken this on funded, but I did not. I was so focused on being a help today, and I was like, I guess I'll, probably paper trade, da 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 da, whatever. And look at how the market want to deliver today. Beautiful price action. Like, this is my model down to the T right here. That's why it was so easy to call out. Oh man. Oh well. Oh well. It's all good. It is all good. But look at that. Is that not beautiful though? Like, say full TP would have hit, right? Full TP would have hit, and you left like one runner. Like, you would have taken like literally majority of your position off and taken one runner. It would have been crazy. It don't get no better than this. This was beautiful. This was beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this for real, just as much as I did, being able to see this, right? But just know that we get opportunities like this every single day in the market. They present themselves every single day. So I'm just thankful that this could have been a help to somebody. And so we look to be able to do this, y'all. We want to do this every day. Okay. The goal is to do this with you all every day so that you can be able to see exactly like the more you see my model and you see how I trade, it'll be easy for you to be able to do the same exact thing. Therefore, you're not therefore you're not just trading and have no idea as to what you have going on. you at least want to have an idea, a solid idea as to what is happening and what is going on. So this thing played itself out beautifully. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna. I may come back at 1. Do you all want me to come back at 1 p.m. and we do it again at 1 on for PM session? How do y'all feel about that? 1 p.m. PM session. If you want 1 p.m. PM session and we look for, I can show you another way of how we get to the bag real easy. If you want that, I can definitely give you all that. I want to check also before we leave. This is my biggest investment right now, guys. For those of you who want to know, this is my biggest investment right now. I'm heavily invested into this company. And I'm not telling nobody, what to do at all, period. But trust me, if you see what I got going on here, I'm gonna take you to a higher time frame so you'll be able to see. This is how I would want you to play SpaceX, right? Like, hold on. Let's pause this for a second. Y'all remember when we was talking about SpaceX earlier? This is how I would want you to play it. I would literally want you to play it just like this, right? So when Webull first open and IPO, right? It IPO'd at $79.56 as the high, right? So when we hit bottom, I wouldn't say I wouldn't necessarily say we hit bottom, right? I'm gonna take that back. But as we started trending down, this is when I decided, I was like, man, long term wise, I'm loving how the company, like how they're presenting themselves, and they're gonna be like the next Robinhood um on their platform. And so we saw what happened with Robinhood, right? Like if we go to Robinhood earlier in the year to see what happened with Robinhood, and Robinhood is playing itself out too as well. Like Robinhood had, look, double top there at 153, but Robinhood earlier in the year, like if you going back to 2024, right, you was getting this thing at like 13 bucks, $14 at the low, right? If you would have got in here, you got in at like $14 on the low, right? And just look at this move, boom, boom, boom. Like, is that not beautiful? Is that not beautiful? So that's Robinhood, right? So with Bull, if you look at where we are now, oh shoot, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me clear that. Okay. If you look at where we are now, right? Like obviously this is gonna take some time. This I'm not telling you like everything is gonna change for you or whatever overnight, right? Like you got to give this thing's time to play out. So that's why I said this is my long term play right here, right? So getting over 1,000 shares here, and you can see how I have it set up, right? So majority of my position, you all, started out at $10.69. That's what majority of my position was. So I had the dollar cost average, right? So as we continue to move down to the downside, right? Like I bought majority more of my position once we hit discount. Once we hit discount at around $4.50, you could see I had my alert set there, right? Because if we hit there again, I'm buying more there again. But these are my levels to buy. 534, 450, and I'm buying 1,000 shares each time it hits my levels, right? I'm buying well over 1,000 shares each time it hit my level. And if you could just take, say for instance, like right now today, if you bought 1,000 shares, that's right at like $5.34. If once price goes back to this liquidity here, that's at around $79, like just at 1,000 shares, like that's over like well over 100K. Let me walk away. Let me walk away. Let me walk away. These are the opportunities that are presenting themselves within the market, but people do not understand how to engage and how to play the markets. That's well over 100K. But me purchasing 1,000 shares each and every time, now you can, we have well over 2,300 shares right now. So if you just did the math on that, we're talking well over six figures just holding on to that bag. So like I told y'all, I'm one of those quiet ones who makes quiet moves and focus literally on the things that matter. I could care less. I could care less about an Epstein file. I could care less about all that other stuff that doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters at all. So here's one. I'm gonna give y'all one more. I'm gonna give you another one, right? Like, let me do this. Because I told y'all I own Cuff, right? I'll share my screen with you all. Let's open this up, right? So I'm gonna go to my open list. We got space plays here, right? For things that are outside of SpaceX that you could have been getting involved in. But I want you to take a look at these right here, because they're now pulling back to give you opportunity to be able to hop in. Where are my there we go. All these are my drone plays, right? So if you missed out in 2025 to catch the trades, price is now retracing for you to be able to catch opportunities. AVAV, right? Environment. DPRO, right? That's Dragonfly Incorporation. KTOS, Kratos Defense and Security Solutions. They're all pulling back. So I just want you to keep your eyes on these. ONDS. They're all pulling back. We made hella money in 2025. Like from 2025 on, it's a matter of being in position at the right time. But I want you all to put these in your on your watch list. Put them on your watch list. And the reason why you're putting them on your watch list is because these things are only going to continue to get better. You hear me? They're going to only continue to get better. So although you missed out on the move that happened from 2025 all throughout 2026 of July, obviously we're going to retrace for the next couple of months, right? And that's where you have the opportunity to put yourself in position. Make money through day trading. Don't go and spend that capital. You take that money that you made during day trading and you reinvest it back into the market. But you have to know where to reinvest it at, and that's how you double and triple your wealth. Easy. And that's how you will surpass so many people so fast, and you'll wonder how you easily took $100 and you turned it into 100K, or you because you knew where to get in and how to get in. You took $1,000. I'm sorry, not $100, but you could do it with $100 through option markets. But if you took $1,000, you knew where to buy. Come on, you would have been in position. So that's it. That's all I have for you all on today. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:03. Um, we gave out some free game. I walked you all through a live trade. Um, just to even show you that I know I know what I'm talking about because I do this each and every day. And I'm all about helping you all get to the bag. Look at that trade. That was the most beautiful trade that we called here on live. Yes, this live is being recorded. So once it ends, you're always able to go back to my page and you will be able to just click on it and you could start it over all the way from the beginning if you choose to. But yes, so we definitely did we accomplished the goal and the task at hand. We was able to deliver through our trade in the market. We was able to give out some free game during that time frame, right? So that you could be able to reassess your trading model, your trading style. Not that I want you to be able to trade like me. I just wanted to show you how I trade, right? And how my positions hit for me easy each and every time. And it's a proven model. It's a proven setup for Miss Oni. Uh, like I know you know because we went through it uh together on last week and showing that same exact thing on last week when we did our training. And if you look at what we did on last week, it was the same exact thing, right? Like although the markets was not going on, nothing was going on during this time frame when we was talking about it. We said that we was going to do it what in a live market. You wanted to see it done in a live market to verify, right? To know, hey, that should put a that should give me a blue check mark verification stamp. That should let you know, like, I'm not no replay trader. How these people be, they it's easy to show it on a replay, but to hop in on a live market, soon market hits at 9:30 New York session, where you got New York and London going on at the same time, being able to dictate and determine each and every move and the probabilities of these moves, um, that's how you know who's real in the game, who's profitable in the game. And so this is how we're going to rock. This is how we're going to rock. So thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. You're welcome. You're welcome. You know I got you. You know I got you. So feel free to hit me up whenever you need me. And so I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Take care. Be blessed. Don't let these charts stress you out, right? Like take some time off on these charts, right? Just take some time off. Take some time off and give yourself uh time to walk away and come back to the market so that you can be able to have a clear head when you do understand how today's trade played out. All right. So, all right, you guys.